just outside your door for that perfect stroll in the spring sunshine. You can spend less time managing your home and more time enjoying the warm spring days ahead. See what that feels like at Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, Illinois, and step into comfortable living for 55 and better.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. A rash of water main issues in the 200 block of South Alexander Street in Clinton were addressed at the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting. The issues were prominent during about a 7 to 10 day stretch in July, resulting in numerous boil orders. Commissioner John Weiss indicates city crews will soon begin improvements to those concerned areas.
As you know, last meeting we discussed Alexander Street, the broken mains that we keep having, and it's just been an ongoing saga. We do have on file tonight the materials for doing that project, and as soon as we can take and get going, the city crews are going to be working on that. But Steve back here, Kenny, we've got a good crew of workers that can do just about anything. We've got people that will take and make sure everything's done according to all the rules and regulations, but we're going to do the laying of that main and doing everything, the hookups, all in the city. It'll save us quite a bit of money, and it's going to get a bad piece of main that has been a problem for a long time corrected.
Commissioner Weiss also addressed the persistent water main breaks along Alexander Street and a plan for fixing those issues going forward.
Now, when we're done with that, I've had a couple people give, are you going to resurface the entire road? And, that's not going to happen. There's no money. It's a concrete road. Yes, it's got a lot of problems right now. There's a lot of gravel piles where we had all those mains to fix. But once we're done with that, then we can take and put it back and level everything out on all those break holes. And hopefully, knock on wood, that'll be the end of that section. We're going to do from Jefferson Street to Main first. That's been the worst part. And then in the future, we'll be going from Jefferson to the highway on Route 54 up and over the hill at the Y. There's been breaks down by the car dealership and that area. We've had numerous breaks there. So we're looking at replacing that also so we can do away with that whole bad main. It's been in there well over 40 years, and it was not good main to begin with, as far as I'm concerned. It should have lasted better than that. So that is the one project that hopefully people can just give us a little time. We're going to get it as quickly as we can.
According to Weiss, contractors are scheduled to return by the end of the month to repair the insulation inside the city's new water tower. He notes adhesive issues caused the insulation to come loose over 2 years ago, but contractor delays held up the repair work.
Second one we've had for the last 2 years, we've been talking about the insulation in the inside of the new tower. It had problems, whatever the glue and things that kept it on there before, and came loose. Cold weather, we've been lucky, nothing's frozen up and broken the last couple of years, because we just couldn't get a company to get in here to do it. They have finally got back. They should start by the end of the month, hopefully, putting that insulation in and shoring that up, where we shouldn't have to worry about it like we have been. So that is on the agenda, and they're really looking forward to getting that started and get that done soon.
The council also heard a proposal from City Administrator Tony Harris to increase council compensation effective for the new council that will be sworn in next spring. We'll hear from Harris on the WHOW Morning Show this morning. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, busy summer in Farmer City winding down. A DeWitt County nonprofit is preparing for expansion again, this time in eastern Illinois. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Neighborhood Care Center Director Cody Monkman told the Heart Media Group the Clinton-based nonprofit was approached earlier this year by residents in Vermilion County about what they needed to begin a network branch based in Danville.
Back in February, we got contacted by two women, Linda and Deanna, who live in Vermilion County, and they said that they had heard about Neighborhood Care Center and they wanted to learn more and see if it was a concept that would be good for their area. And so we started, obviously, they visited both McLean County and DeWitt County to get a better vibe of our culture and how we do what we do, why we do what we do. I think it was by the end of April. I can't remember if it was end of March or end of April. It was pretty quick. Oh, no, it would have been end of March, actually, that the board made the official decision to agree to work on expanding and creating a third care center network for Vermilion County that would be based in Danville.
While many may see the Neighborhood Care Center currently operating in Clinton and Hayworth and wonder about expansion into a bigger area like Danville, Monkman believes it is less about the area of operation and more about utilizing the gifts of those in the community to become the best they can.
Early on, before the board even made an official vote, that was one of the conversations that we had, was if we were to expand in a third care center network, and it particularly would be based in Danville for Vermilion County, which is a county of 80,000, is that considered mission drift? That's not really in the cards for us, kind of a thing. And we essentially concluded that the mission of Neighborhood Care Center has less to do with rural in a particular demographic in that regard, and more to just supporting and inspiring people to reach their full potential, no matter where that's at. Now, our value system jives very well in rural areas, rural people. The positive is, and I think we've talked about this in the past, that inner city culture, urban culture, does have a lot of similarities with rural culture as far as worldview.
Yeah.
Manifested is different, but the value system is similar. It's that suburban culture that is different, that majority of Americans today live in. But so all that said, when I did my research on Vermilion County, one of the things that I looked at was economics. What are their economic drivers? I did look at the demographics of people, both in economics and race. And one of the things that I had concluded was that by and large, the Vermilion County economy is agricultural and manufacturing being more in the urban worldview, and that there isn't a majority of the population that is more of those suburban thinkers, but it is, urban and rural. And so for that reason, I was like, I actually think our value system lived out there would work well.
According to Monkman, the space the Neighborhood Care Center in Vermilion County will eventually operate out of will be smaller than the space they occupy in Clinton. He notes, though, it is less about the size of the space, but rather the size of the impact.
One of our values is small is big, and that is both personally within our mission partners, but also organizationally. So we are not in the business of creating another institution that needs to be managed and needs to fundraise to just keep the wheels turning. And so for that reason, I think the building that we're going to be using is 2,500 square feet. That's actually smaller than the building in DeWitt County. The building for DeWitt County is 4,000 square feet. And in Vermilion County, they're going to have their own distribution center as well. So it's a distribution center plus the location for the network itself. Part of our philosophy, though, is that's where innovation can take place. Like when your back is up against the wall, in many regards, when you're in a small space, you're going to have to innovate how you do what you do. So it can be a positive. It doesn't have to be a negative. And the other thing too is as far as scaling goes, one of my beliefs is, whenever I look at nature, whether it's humanity or just nature itself, when nature wants to scale itself, it doesn't make a thing smaller. My belief in leadership is, if we're going to grow, we're so used to making one thing and just making it bigger, 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 bigger. I come from a world of let's multiply, like keep it small. And if you can keep it small, you can actually multiply quicker and faster.
While the focus is small, Monkman admits the network is in the midst of growing pains and is starting to expand its leadership roles because of all its growth in the last 5 years.
At this point, it's been easier than what I would have expected. Things have just really fallen into place, and all I can do is just chalk it up to God, I guess. The location that we will be based out of is being donated. We're going to be in a strip mall area just south of the downtown area across from the courthouse. As far as funding goes, we've applied for a couple of different foundation grants. We haven't officially been awarded them, but I am still very hopeful that we will. And that's what will carry the heavy load for the first year, while we still buy time in creating individual donor base. We are going through growing pains. And one of those is I have slowly stepped away from operations. Mandy here started out as our communications director, which by and large, I mean, you can do that from a computer, especially in 2026. Mandy is the operations director for DeWitt County, being more hands-on with our mission partners there. And then she is the interim operations director in McLean County. We are looking for an operations director for McLean County that lives in McLean County. And then we have Molly, who is going to be our operations director in Vermilion County. I mean, that is a big growing pain that we are going through, is everyone's kind of learning new roles, and I'm having to figure out what are things I need to give away and no longer be involved in, so that I can think about the other thing.
The neighborhood care center's location in Vermilion County plans to be up and operating in the first part of 2027. Monkman indicates they will likely host a fundraiser in Vermilion County in the first quarter of 2027 as well. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs, with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
In the communities we call home, connection means something more. That's why Connexus Fiber Internet combines the strength of a locally owned network with support from people who call this community home. The internet that powers your day should be built with the same care as the community around you. Connexus provides the speed you want, reliability you need, and the service you expect from neighbors who live here too. Luxury speed, hometown heart. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 22 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. A lot of dirt has been moved this summer in Farmer City, and the mess is about ready to be cleaned up and moved out. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Farmer City manager Haley Roberson told the Heart Media Group they've had a pair of projects going on different sides of the community. She indicates one of the benefits they found with their Washington Street sewer line project was that they were able to move water mains for those residents closer to their homes.
Everything's rolling right now in town. We've got two really good projects going on. We've got a Washington Street project. It doesn't look as exciting on the surface as it really is because the really cool stuff happened underground. We were able to reline a sewer main down there, which is going to extend the life of that by 25 years easy, and replace a new water main. But the cool part was originally when they did it, you never really know what they were thinking back in like maybe the 20s or 30s when those houses went in and they're like, oh, we have running water now. And so that's new. The connections for the house were way too far out and they were actually in the street, which meant for the homeowner, if they would have ever had to replace that line, because that's what the homeowner's responsible for, the connection from the house to the main, they would have had to cut into the street. And then I would have been there saying, hey, you're going to have to pay to put that back. And it would have cost them another 10 grand easy to do that. So with this project, we were able to move the main closer to the house so that they won't have that expense when the day comes that that line ever has to be replaced. Does it look that cool? No. And mostly everybody's like, when are you going to reseed my yard? And I'm like, okay, well, we saved you 10 grand, so you're welcome, but I'll get some grass seed out there, promise, probably in the fall.
Yeah,
but that was really exciting. And then we've got another one over on Plum Street where they're pouring like a big apron kind of to really widen that intersection. There's a lot of just heavy trucks that go through there. And so we're really hoping that that helps getting some storm drainage in as well. So that'll help with all the water that we get.
According to Roberson, they have been working all summer on extending the Plum Street intersection with Plum Street and 150. There was an interesting discovery during that project.
So that was over on Plum Street, and everybody spend so much money. There's so much effort put into mapping out the infrastructure and you just never get it. And so we were doing that and contractors are there because it's just too big of a project to handle in-house. So contractors are there and then we dig up this old water service and no one knew what it was and tried to find it on maps and it just wasn't even there. So checking it to make sure that it doesn't still service some, find that where you're like, oh, this is dead. And then you go to take it out and then you've got a geyser shooting up and you're like, I guess it wasn't. So we did double check. Not that I'm speaking from experience, but we were able to check there was no service happening there. Hadn't been for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Then we just filled it in and now everything's back on track and rolling.
The Plum Street intersection expansion project was part of a grant from the Illinois Department of Transportation. Roberson says it came in under budget, and the state of Illinois is allowing the city to hold on to the extra funds for its next big project.
Yeah, it's been kind of unofficially extended from the trucks. We're like, okay, we got the hint, so we're extending the pavement all the way over there. They've brought in gravel and everybody's kind of trying to do their best, but with the rains that we've gotten, it just wasn't going to stand up to it. So we're able to get some, and this was a long time coming. This is actually a grant project. The grant, I'm almost afraid to say it out loud because it's just too good of a doggone deal. The city was awarded a $750,000 grant to do this project. The project came in under budget. Hello, never happens. The project came in at 600. So then you're just like, oh man, I got to give back that 150,000. But IDOT has actually found a way for us to keep that kind of in our credits so that we can use it for future project engines. So that is unheard of. I was just like, Illinois is going to be pretty sweet. Let me keep my grant money.
Also, during all the work in town, the city is awaiting approval of permits from the state of Illinois for its Interstate 74 project outside of town. Roberson indicates once they receive those, more dirt will continue to be moved for multifamily housing units as well as a small shopping center. It takes many volunteer hours to sustain a county fair. That means the work of fair boards remains critical. Craig McCoy has been involved in the Fulton County Fair for around 40 years. He says newcomers are always welcome to serve on fair boards.
We usually have a pretty good range of people volunteering to help. The biggest thing I think with volunteers is you gotta realize as a director or in charge of anything, as far as that goes in any organization, you got to realize that these people aren't, they're not paid staff. So when it comes to volunteer help, you got to kind of give them a little leeway too. And and we try and do that with all of our volunteers or our superintendents and stuff like that. We have pretty good luck, and we've had a pretty good, ability to have people come in that we need in certain areas and stuff. And, the older people are wanting to quit. And so some of the newer people we go out and try and find that's in that business or has something to do with what we're looking for. And a lot of times they'll volunteer for that week or week and a half.
McCoy also serves as a Central Zone Director for the Illinois Association of Ag Fairs Board. Now for your local obituaries. Larry Lamont Femister, 87, of Marion, Illinois, passed away on August 1st, 2026 at Lincolnshire Place in Decatur. Graveside services with military honors will be in December in 2026 at Oakland Cemetery in Carbondale, with Pastor Bob Dickerson officiating. Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton is in charge of arrangements. Memorials may be directed to First Baptist Church in Marion. Online condolences may be made at calvertmemorial.com. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. It's DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Seems the polls, the pundits, and much of the media missed the mark. They had predicted a big win for leftist Abdul El-Sayed in Michigan's Democratic U.S. Senate primary. Instead, he leads establishment candidate Haley Stevens by less than 2 points, a razor-close contest. Mike Rogers is the GOP nominee for U.S. Senate in Michigan. Elsewhere, former Salem talker Chris DeGaulle has won the Republican congressional primary in Missouri's solidly blue 6th congressional district. President Trump says that a deal on the Strait of Hormuz, a deal with Iran, could come as early as today or perhaps tomorrow. A man who was arrested at the president's L.A. area golf course, pleading not guilty to all charges, including a couple of felony counts. Watching Wall Street, the Dow futures are up 218 points, while the NASDAQ futures are ahead 47. More details, srnnews.com.
Are you carrying more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Do you feel like you're running on a financial treadmill, making payment after payment, month after month, yet never getting ahead? If you're tired of watching your hard-earned money disappear into interest charges, there may be options available to help you take back control of your finances. At Total Financial Freedom, they'll show you what qualified consumers may be able to save through programs designed to help them resolve debt faster than making minimum payments alone. The consultation is free, confidential, and comes with absolutely no obligation. Why spend years, sometimes decades, paying thousands in interest when there may be a better path forward? Total Financial Freedom is a Christian-owned company that has helped thousands of Americans pursue financial freedom for nearly 20 years and is proudly A+ rated and accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now and ask how you can receive a complimentary copy of The Debt Dietitian. Stop running in place. Start moving toward financial freedom at 866-844-7344. 866-844-7344.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Caleb Durbin hit a grand slam. Patrick Sandoval earned his first major league win in more than 2 years, and the Boston Red Sox extended their winning streak to 6 games with a 14-2 victory over the Chicago White Sox on Tuesday night.
Red Sox beat the White Sox 14-2 at Fenway Park, and the hottest team in baseball stayed hot in the first inning as they tagged Davis Martin with 6 runs.
The pitch. Durbin in the air, deep left, and it's a home run, a grand slam for Durbin. And it's 5-0. He hit a line shot over the monster.
Their job to shut him down for the rest of the way.
There's another blast, this time to right, and it will go over the bullpen.
Oh, boy.
It's 6-0.
It's Sonny Gray versus Sean Burke tomorrow as the White Sox will look to get back in the win column. First pitch at 6:10 on the Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
The White Sox and Red Sox return to play the second game in the series tonight. Pregame on WHOW begins at 5:30 p.m. George Lombard Jr. homered in a memorable big league debut, and the New York Yankees beat the St. Louis Cardinals 2-0 on Tuesday night. In the fifth inning, Lombard drove an 0-2 sweeper from starter Hunter Dobbins, who is 2-2, into the left field seats for his first career hit. As he completed his first home run trot in the majors, Lombard's parents hugged in the stands. Lombard's 392-foot shot gave New York a 2-0 lead and made him the first Yankee shortstop to homer in his major league debut. It was the first homer by any Yankees player in his big league debut since Jason Dominguez went deep in his initial plate appearance against Justin Verlander in Houston on September 1st, 2023. Lombard also helped Ryan Weathers, who is 5-7, pitch 6 strong innings by starting inning-ending double plays in the second and fifth. In the second, Lombard ranged to his right to field Blaze Jordan's grounder and made an off-balance throw to second baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr. In the fifth, Lombard ranged to his left, fielded Nathan Church's grounder behind second base, stepped on the bag, and made a clean throw to first baseman Ben Rice. Chisholm also homered in the second as the Yankees won for the 10th time in 16 games. Weathers allowed 4 hits in his second straight scoreless start. The lefty struck out 6, walked none, and stranded 2 in the 6th when Yankees newcomer Heliot Ramos charged in to catch Jose Fermin's fly ball to left field. David Bednar got 4 outs for his 25th save in 27 chances to complete New York's AL Best 12th shutout. Dobbins allowed 2 runs and 4 hits in 6 1/3 innings. The Cardinals were blanked for the 6th time. They scratched all-star outfielder Jordan Walker shortly before first pitch due to right knee inflammation. St. Louis right-hander Andre Palante is 11-6 with a 3.72 ERA and opposes New York righty Will Warren, who was 11-6 with a 4.14 ERA in Wednesday night's series finale. The Chicago Cubs spoiled Tarik Skubal's debut with the slumping Los Angeles Dodgers on Tuesday night, hosting a 5-1 victory behind key RBI singles by Nico Hoerner and Pete Crow Armstrong. Dansby Swanson connected for a solo homer as Chicago won for the 3rd time in 4 games. Skubal permitted 2 runs and 4 hits over 6 innings in his first start since he was acquired in a trade with Detroit on Saturday night. The 2-time AL Cy Young Award winner threw 85 pitches, 51 for strikes. Kyle Tucker homered for Los Angeles, which finished with 4 hits in its 5th consecutive loss. It's the longest slide for the Dodgers since they also dropped 5 in a row in early September last year. With 2 out and runners at the corners in the 6th, Hoerner hit a high chopper at the right of the mound. Alex Bregman scampered home on the infield single, giving Chicago a 2-1 lead. The Cubs added 2 more in the 7th on singles by Crow Armstrong and Seiya Suzuki, and Hoerner made it 5-1 with a solo homer off Edwin Diaz in the 8th. Ryan Rollison is 6-1 and pitched a scoreless inning for the win. Los Angeles jumped in front in the 2nd, moments after Mookie Betts bounced into a double play. Tucker drove a 2-1 sinker from Javier Assad to left center for his 10th homer. Tucker heard boos for the 2nd consecutive night in his return to Chicago after playing for the Cubs last season. The right fielder, who signed a $240 million 4-year contract with the Dodgers in free agency, also made a lunging catch on Hoerner's sinking liner to right in the bottom of the 2nd. Skubal is 7-6 and retired his first 6 batters before Swanson drove his first pitch of the third to left center for his 17th homer, sending a charge through the crowd of 40,000 at Wrigley Field. Eric Lauer is 6-5 with a 4.5 ERA and starts for Los Angeles in the series finale Wednesday against fellow lefty Shoto Imanaga, who is 7-9 with a 3.67 ERA. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Baltimore Orioles beat the Los Angeles Angels 3-1, while the Cincinnati Reds took down the Athletics 5-4. The New York Mets beat the Cleveland Guardians 6-2, while the Philadelphia Phillies shut out the Washington Nationals 5-0. The Atlanta Braves beat the Miami Marlins 4-2, while the Kansas City Royals took down the Minnesota Twins 8-2. The Milwaukee Brewers beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-2, while the Texas Rangers beat the San Francisco Giants 5-4. The Houston Astros beat the Toronto Blue Jays 7-2 in just 8 innings, while the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Colorado Rockies 9-7 in 11 innings. The Detroit Tigers blanked the Seattle Mariners 8-0, and the San Diego Padres beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 9-4. Chicago Bears right tackle Darnell Wright has agreed to a lucrative contract extension, answering a major question for the team going into the season. Wright's $116 million 4-year contract includes $93 million guaranteed. The contract is the biggest ever for a right tackle and includes the most guaranteed money for an offensive lineman in NFL history. The 10th overall pick in the 2023 draft out of Tennessee, Wright anchored an offensive line that helped the Bears rank 3rd in the NFL in rushing last season. On their way to the NFC North title, he earned second-team All-Pro honors. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Chance of